It's 9 p.m. on the dot, time for us to update you on the happenings or events that have taken place throughout the day. Here are some of the stories we are giving prominence this evening. Housing levy will be implemented. President Ruto takes on Azimio for being opposed to his housing levy, despite having similar proposals in their 2022 pre-election manifesto. Azimio sues Moses Wetangula over his ruling that Jubilee is a parliamentary party and delaying decision to de-whip Sabina Chege. Buy Kenya, Build Kenya comes to life as Nairobi Festival enters day 2 with a showcase of locally made products. The making of a budget. Treasury invites the public to give feedback on the proposals for the 2024-2025 budget.
This is KUTV Primetime News with DENIS OMONDI.
Okay, helping us with the sign language interpretation this evening is Moses Gitonga. I trust you are well. Good evening and welcome to this particular broadcast. Now, President William Ruto has continued to defend the housing levy, insisting that it means well for Kenya. According to Ruto, the implementation of the housing levy will ensure every Kenyan lives in a decent environment, adding that the housing levy will definitely be passed. The president has also accused the opposition of leading campaigns against the levy despite making similar recommendations in their 2022 pre-election manifesto. Listen in.
President William Ruto has yet again defended the government's housing levy plan, maintaining a hard stance that despite the opposition from the High Court, the plan will be implemented. Ruto says that this is one of Kenya Kwanza's manifesto that aims to give every Kenyan a chance to live in a decent environment.
We have 1,410 slums in Kenya. It's not just Kibera. You know, whenever we talk about slums, people think it is Mukuru and Kibera and a few places. 1,410 countrywide. So we need to liberate our people from the indignity of living in slums.
Ruto further said that it's every Kenyan's right to own a house, and the housing project will ensure every Kenyan owns a house at affordable monthly rent.
Tenant purchase of 3,000 shillings a month, and finally a Kenyan will own a house. We've made it look like owning a house is the privilege of the people who have means. We must make it owning a house is a right for every citizen who lives in our country.
The president noted that the affordable housing program is critical for the creation of employment opportunities for the youth, whose targeted employment capacity is expected to hit 500,000 jobs by 2027.
In just the last 8 months, we now have 120,000 Kenyans working in our housing program.
This comes even after Ruto said that the government will respect the court's verdict to suspend the housing levy and make several adjustments.
I know the court have said we should go and readjust the law to make it aligned appropriately. That we are going to do, so that the 120,000 people can become 200,000 and can become 500,000 in the next 5 years.
Ruto also spoke about the privatization of the government parastatals, saying some parastatals are a liability and that he is ready for the consequences over the sale of state-owned parastatals.
It's a very difficult decision to make, but I will make the decision. I promise you. I will make the decision and take the consequences.
High Court had also stopped the planned sale of state corporations last week. Justice Chacha Mwita issued the order after ODM through Advocate Jackson Awele said the public was not allowed to give its views regarding the Privatization Act, which made it easier to sell the state enterprises to private companies. Vivian Opio, KUTV.
And President William Ruto on Wednesday presided over the official opening of the second annual Kenya Diaspora Investment Conference, KDIC, themed to Jenge Kenya, Bridging Borders, Building Futures. The three-day conference seeks to facilitate networking and collaboration among different stakeholders, fostering connections between members of the diaspora, national and county governments, and local businesses.
President William Ruto has underscored that the government appreciates the role played by the Kenyan diaspora in the economic growth of the country, at the same time assuring Kenyans living abroad of their security in their host countries so as to be actively involved in the socio-economic development back home.
For the diaspora to be involved in the socio-economic development back home, they have to be secure and flourishing in their host countries. As Government of Kenya, the security and safety of all citizens is our foremost commitment.
The president has argued that the government has expanded digital provisions of public services to encompass 14,000 services. The government has also rolled out mobile consular service exercise that has now covered 22 countries and served over 9,000 Kenyans abroad at the closest points to where they live.
We have expanded digital provision of public services to encompass 14,000 government services. Additionally, we have rolled out the mobile consular service exercise that has now covered 22 countries and served over 9,000 Kenyans abroad at the closest points to where they live.
Prime Cabinet Secretary and Foreign Affairs and Diaspora Cabinet Secretary Musalia Mudavadi said Kenyans misunderstood the government's plan to privatize some institutions, stating that the government has no plans to sell the institutions.
The government talked about privatization. They did not talk about disposal of KICC. Two distinct things.
Nakuru Governor Susan Kihika, who represented the chairperson of Council of Governors Anoi Guru, said devolution has transformed the lives of Kenyans at the grassroots levels.
Each of the county governments has identified at least 5 value chains that are visible for aggregation and high prospects for value addition and industrialization.
The head of state has acknowledged the diaspora as a formidable force for the country's economic transformation through remittances, encouraging intensive engagement with Kenyans residing abroad so that they can contribute to development in the country through trade and investment. Aisha Saif, KUTV.
Azimio has filed a lawsuit accusing National Assembly Speaker Moses Wetangula of violating the law when he initially declined to remove Sabina Chege as the Deputy Minority Whip. This comes after their request to replace Chege with Embakasi West MP Mark Mwenje. Speaker Wetangula effected the change but instead declared Jubilee Parliamentary Party despite being within Azimio and made nominated MP Sabina Chege the party whip.
The Azimio coalition has filed a lawsuit against National Assembly Speaker Moses Wetangula, accusing him of unlawfully delaying the removal of Sabina Chege as a deputy minority whip. This was after the request to remove Chege and instead appoint Embakasi West Member of Parliament Mark Mwenje to the position was denied several times. According to the documents filed in court, the coalition is urging the court to declare Chege's position and the recognition of Jubilee as a parliamentary party unconstitutional. Additionally, they are seeking an order for Sabina Chege to refund public funds spent on the operation of a purported office, as the opposition holds that she was occupying the office illegally. Initially, the Azimio coalition had submitted a request to Speaker Wetangula seeking the removal of Sabina Chege as the deputy minority whip, accusing Sabina Chege of displaying an interest in aligning herself with the government. However, in her defense, Sabina argued that some of the Jubilee members involved with the government aimed to ensure that Jubilee MPs had opportunities to work with the government. However, Speaker Wetangula postponed the decision, claiming that communication from the Azimio coalition was not clear on who would take Sabina's position. On October 25th, Speaker Moses Wetangula finally announced the removal of Sabina Chege from her position. This decision followed the dismissal of a court case filed by Sabina Chege in which she sought to prevent her removal from office. The court advised Chege to exhaust all available options within the party. In his ruling, Wetangula expressed concerns over the confusion within the Jubilee Party after receiving conflicting communication regarding the party's situation within the Azimio la Umoja One Kenya coalition. Yvonne Kimuma, KUTV.
We are taking our short break here, but remember we are having more stories lined up for you on the other side of the break.
Kenyatta University will hold its 54th graduation ceremony on Friday, 15th December 2023 at the main campus along Thika Superhighway. KUTV will provide live coverage of the graduation ceremony. The graduation will also be streamed live on KUTV, KU Radio, KU website and all KU social media platforms. For more information, please contact the Office of the Registrar Academic on 020-870-30920, 0786-335-111 or visit the Kenyatta University website on www.ku.ac.ke. The theme for the graduation ceremony is Scaling Education and Research for Sustainable Development. Kenyatta University, transforming higher education, enhancing lives.
Kutoka kuwa jamii ya kuhamahama na sasa kujumuisha kilimo katika mitindo yao ya maisha. Kwenye toleo la kaunti ya Narok, hii ni Boresha Kilimo, kwani afya bora ni kilimo bora.
Kwani kilimo ndicho huboresha maisha.
You are watching KUTV Primetime News with DENIS Omondi.
Welcome back to KUTV Primetime News. Now, moving on, the second edition of the Nairobi Festival entered day 2 today. The event being held at Uhuru Park has given companies and small and medium enterprises, as well as other business people, a chance to showcase their products, most of which are locally made. This is even as the Buy Build Kenya campaign continues in a bid to boost local enterprises. Eliud Mutwiri was at Uhuru Park and produced this report.
The Nairobi Festival's second edition entered day 2 at Uhuru Park, Nairobi, after Governor Johnson Sakaja officially launched the festival yesterday, saying it will foster culture in Nairobi. Businesses, from large companies to small and mid-sized enterprises, were present at the event, showcasing their products, most of which are made locally in the country. From honey, clothing, beds, and artistic work, businesses owners seized the opportunity, food vendors not being left behind. The SME owners we spoke to have revealed that the festival has given them a platform to market their products, as even the Buy Kenya, Build Kenya campaign is present to sensitize on the need to promote local business and industries for economic growth.
It's a privilege for us juu tungekuwa tunakaa kwa nyumba na products zetu. So like we want to thank for the opportunity ametupea. At least we can come with our products and showcase them and at least earn something from it.
Being yesterday was an holiday, jana kulikuwa na watoto, but there was still some sales and at least we made something yesterday. Yeah, it wasn't that bad.
It is an opportunity for us to showcase what we are doing to like everybody else because we are working from home.
Those attending the event have praised it for all-inclusive package it offers, ranging from kids and family-friendly activities, entertainment and food.
It's fun. Uhuru Park venye imechangiwa, so at least inakaa viti. Chakula ni mob. Economy ndo mbaya.
To me this is very important and I would commend the Nairobi Governor Sakaja for allowing this festival to take place, and we want to see more of these initiatives. And to the other counties that do not have festivals like this, maybe they should look at Nairobi and borrow a leaf and get how things are done. So
Nairobi County Culture Officer, on the other hand, has sent an invitation to Kenyans, urging them to show up in large numbers to the event set to end on 17th December.
Attendance imekuwa also encouraging. Kwanzia jana tumeona a lot of people coming in. Many of them were entertained, others even they had opportunity to leave very late. Na tunashukuru. So today as the event begin, we are also expecting a lot. Na tunakaribisha Wakenya kwa wingi wakuje.
Apart from the businesses that were showcased at Uhuru Park, those who attended had a chance to get entertained through various activities at the festival. Derek Odhiambo, KUTV.
The National Treasury and Economic Planning Ministry has organized public sector hearings for the financial year 2024-2025 and the medium-term statement, which are meant to provide a platform for stakeholders to validate and give a feedback on the sector budget proposals. According to Treasury CS Njuguna Ndung'u, this forum will give stakeholders the opportunity to participate and contribute to the formulation of the national budget. Anodida has that report.
Treasury Cabinet Secretary Njuguna Ndung'u, during the opening of the public hearing forum of the financial year 2024-2025 budget, noted that the focus of next year's financial budget will be on the implementation of priority programs under the bottom-up economic transformation agenda by increasing investments in agriculture transformation and inclusive growth.
We need to know and to see and to understand how issues are interconnected. The budget approval, the economic activity, the financing, and where we may go wrong.
Ndung'u has, however, noted that the Kenyan economy has recorded economic growth, especially in the first half of 2023, that averaged 5.4%, a record of growth that has been greatly attributed to the agricultural sector. For the implementation of the financial year 2023-2024 budget, the CS underscored that the government has taken note of significant pressure points and risks, including challenges in revenue generation, escalation in debt service costs, among others. Principal Secretary National Treasury Chris Kipto, on his part, noted that the government is still facing a major challenge in settling pending bills from June 2005 to June 2022.
Recognizing this magnitude of the problem, Cabinet has recently approved the establishment of pending bills verification committee, which has been tasked with the auditing of all unpaid liabilities for the period 2005 and 2022.
During the public hearing slated to run for the next 3 days, sector teams will have an opportunity to exhaustively discuss the sectoral performance, prioritize programs and projects for funding in financial year 2024-2025 and the medium term, expected outputs and outcomes from public spending and other emerging issues. Anodida, KUTV.
And now on financial matters, oil marketers are facing a hard time due to late payment by the government. This is according to data from the Ministry of Energy, which also indicates that billions of Kenya's shillings are due for 4 monthly cycles. On the other hand, the National Treasury has paid 2.7 billion shillings in guaranteed debts to Kenya Airways as its first principal payment.
The state owes oil marketers a 9.9 billion Kenyan shillings for the fuel stabilization scheme reinstated from July. Locally owned oil marketers have warned that they're drifting into debts due to delayed payments while struggling with the increased cost of buying refined fuel. The weakening of the shilling against the dollar also is pressuring the strained cash flows. The National Treasury has paid a further 2.7 billion Kenyan shillings in Kenya Airways guarantee debts in the 3 months. The payments in the quarter include a 2.7 billion principal repayment and a 351.29 million shillings for interest repayments. Last year, the Treasury said it would take over the debt contracted in 2017 from the USA Export-Import Bank as a facilitation to the better management of risk for the national carrier. Despite paying down more than 13 billion Kenyan shillings, KQ's guaranteed debt has soared by 13.4% since September last year, mainly from the sharp depreciation of the Kenyan shillings. In other news, the Central Bank of Kenya has launched a new climate finance initiative with European Investment Bank to strengthen engagement by Kenyan financial institutions to finance the climate-related investment. The scheme is also expected to develop the green taxonomy for the financial sector that supports scaling up green investment aligned with the goals of the 2015 Paris Climate Agreement. Over the last decade, the European Investment Bank has helped strengthen climate finance technical skills of more than 40,000 African financial professionals. Christine Adhiambo for KUTV.
Okay, we're taking yet another break. We are coming back with more stories, including the events that took place in the counties.
Technology, science, innovation, ICT and research. These are the ingredients upon which the solutions to the 21st century problems are founded. In a world that is rapidly changing, it's all hands on deck to ensure a balance in all fields of life. Young and old are also in the front line, breaking the glass ceiling, becoming thought leaders in the larger tech space. Not forgetting other societies marginalized. And when the tech Avengers come together, we inch closer to a much safer, efficient, and sustainable world. What we view as a norm in today's advanced world was just an idea, and for nostalgic reasons, we trace back to the iconic days to bring you the retro tech. On Technovation Show, we encapsulate all the pillars of the fourth industrial revolution, decoded in a language, all for one for all. Every Monday at 8:30 as we push the mantra, keep learning something new each and every day. Only on KUTV, a new experience.
A loving husband and father. Nothing is too good for my daughter. An ambitious businessman with a dark secret. A girl with a whole life in front of her, plunging into a marriage that she did not choose with the wrong man.
I'm not ready to marry Zeva.
But who is the right one? I love Nambi. A rock star, living the dream. But the babes keep chasing me, I guess. It ain't easy being famous, especially with so many glamorous women around. A woman hell-bent on revenge.
He will pay.
Seductive, dangerous. She is a predator. Everybody needs it. Everybody wants it. They will do anything to get it. Love and wealth.
Kipindi hewani ni mitindo ya kipwani. Kama ilivyo kipindi hiki kinahusu nyimbo za taarab, chakacha, midwara, midundiko, bila kusahau mapishi. ambao ndio uti wa mgongo wa pwani ya Afrika Mashariki.
Jamani, swahibu zangu mliopo maskani, hatuonani wenzangu, najua mwanitamani.
Hapa KUTV, nahodha mwendesha chombo cha baharini, yani ua linalonukia na kuvutia waridi tamu.
You are watching KUTV Primetime News with DENIS Omondi.
Welcome back and thank you for staying with us. Moving on, farmers in Muguka growing areas of Mbere have been warned against use of pesticides that have not been approved by the Pesticide Control Board. This is after the farmers within Embu, Kirinyaga and Meru counties were found using the stimulants. Kirinyaga County, on the other hand, has reported increased numbers of cattle raids. Here is Kiki Blessings with much more from the counties.
The Pest Control Board will conduct a meeting to enlighten residents of Mbeere North Embu County about the use of pesticides.
Kenya Pest Control Board wanasema kwamba zile chemicals ziko kwa market hapa Embu, Kirinyaga na Meru region. Hizo chemicals ni fake.
Embu County Commissioner Jack Obuo disclosed that the board had raised an alarm over counterfeit and fake pesticides in the market after farmers were found using fake pesticides in the area, as well as increased number of counterfeit liquor.
Sisi tumeamua tukiwa kama county na ligiji lebe president anakosa hiyo vikosi, tutapigana na hii kitu mpaka tunatoka vijana wetu.
In Kirinyaga County, the County Commissioner Nayoma Tobiko decried the rise of cattle theft cases in Mwea West and Mwea East sub-counties, stating that the manner in which the livestock are being stolen and slaughtered within the same areas seem to be well coordinated, which has become a hard task for the security team to investigate.
Wizi wa mifugo Mwea West na Kirinyaga West. Sijui ugonjwa inatoka wapi. Unajua kaunti kama hii hatuwezani kusikia vitu kama hizo. Alafu makosa wanafanya wanatoa hapa kufika kwa hiyo miti wamechinja. Hata hakuna nyayo unafuata.
The National Government Administration of Malindi Sub-County, on the other hand, has renewed its war against narcotic drug trade and abuse in the sub-county with an aim to rescue the youth from drug addiction.
Dawa ya kulevya ambalo nimekuwa ni swala ambalo ni donda sugu sana katika county na katika sub-county hii yetu ndogo ya Malindi. Na imefika wakati tutawasema wale wanahusika.
The residents have been urged to take advantage of the huge tracts of land and the ongoing rain in the area to carry out farming activities instead of engaging in illicit trade. Kiki Blessings, KUTV.
Okay, now into the sports. This evening, Uganda under 15 soccer teams will represent the Sekafa region in the upcoming African Schools Football Championships in both boys and girls tournaments. This is after the Uganda girls team thrashed Kenya 2-1 in the final match, which was played at Kasarani Stadium in Nairobi. In the boys' final, Tanzania was defeated by Uganda through a penalty shootout, which concluded with a score of 4-2. This is after the game went through a 1-1 draw in full time. Player Ashraf Kiakua scored for Uganda in the 34th minute before Tanzania scored a late goal in the second half. Kenyan boys team failed to qualify for the final as they were third in the boys group table. Into the UEFA Champions League now. Manchester United was eliminated from the UEFA Champions League after losing to Bayern Munich at Old Trafford. The game, which was played last night, ended with a 1-0 score after forward Kingsley Coman scored their only goal for Bayern. United finished last in Group A, making them to also miss a chance to play in the Europa League this season. In the other matches, Arsenal was held to a 1-1 draw by PSV despite their earlier qualification for the round of 16. Real Madrid came from behind to thrash Union Berlin 3-2 in their final group stages match. Tonight, Newcastle will battle against Italian side AC Milan as Dortmund will face PSG among other matches. That's it from us to you. It's been nice having you here. My name is DENIS OMONDI. Our sign language interpreter this evening is Moses Gitonga. And from us and the whole team that made this broadcast a success, we wish you nothing but a good night. See you some other time.
I'm your hostess, Becky.
And my name is DJ Terror.
We start you off with a word of prayer and get you started with a live transformational worship experience. Have our minds renewed by the word of God on the word segment.
And not forgetting new music za hii wiki, yani ndakuwa bado nawapatia pale wasanii wamekuwa kiwakali.
Elections next week. Incumbent President Felix Tshisekedi is seeking a second 5-year term. He came to power in 2019 in the country's first and only peaceful transition of power since it gained independence from Belgium 63 years ago. On December 20th, President Tshisekedi will go head-to-head with 25 other candidates. Among the frontrunners are some of the president's old and new political rivals. Correspondent Anastasie Tudieshe has been on the campaign trail with several candidates. She is in Kinshasa for us with the latest.
Hedy, I'm here on Boulevard du 30 Juin, and the building I am showing you is the CENIS, the Congolese National Electoral Commission, where the name of DRC's next president should be announced in a few days. Campaign trails in DRC are quite the challenge. Within 30 days, the candidates, this time 26, are supposed